p.m. June 16th, the very first game of the College World Series. This is the bracket number one here. So TCU or Roberts, who do you like?
I like TCU. I think they have a lot of momentum right now. Obviously, Oral Roberts comes off a very hard-fought victory over Oregon. But at the end of the day, I trust the program prestige, if you will, of TCU. They have a great coach. They've had sustained success over the last 5 to 10 years now. So I mean, they always have a pretty stable program. And out of the Big 12, I think, they can impress a little bit.
So I'll go with Oral Roberts. First of all, Jonah Cox with a 47 something game, 48 game hitting streak, unbelievable, probably one of the best hitters in the country. But you look 1 through 9, they're just stacked,
Yeah.
and so they've won like almost 50 games this year. So nobody thinks, oh, Oral Roberts, national powerhouse. No. This team can compete with anybody in the country. Now I know TCU's good, but TCU's lost like 20 something games this year, right? Like Oral Roberts is in my eyes, a better baseball team right now, especially with the bats. So I will take Oral Roberts to beat TCU in that first game.
Okay, fair enough.
Next game, Florida, Virginia. So Virginia obviously coming off they lost game 1 against Duke and then dominated games 2 and 3 against Duke to move on here to Omaha. Florida, hard fought against South Carolina. They move on as well, Jack Caglione and company. In Florida, who do you like?
I like Virginia.
Why? Is it Jack Geloff that
yes,
nukes, hit taters?
And when you can come back and win those last 2 games, the high that this team is on right now and the momentum that they're feeling, I think plays a lot, and especially into college baseball. I feel like baseball in general is a very momentum-based game. You see a lot of teams that really, I'm not saying Virginia doesn't have the business being there, but, I mean, let's be honest, they're definitely the underdog in this matchup. So when you look, they're just playing really hard-fought, gritty baseball right now, and it's really hard to not pick that team.
See, might be difficult. I'm going to do it, though. I'm going to go ahead and take Florida. Jack Caglione is the best two-way player in the country. That's not even up for debate. He leads the country in home runs. He's got a sub-4 ERA. Nasty.
So
Gives
Florida me Ohtani vibes.
Does give me Ohtani vibes. Even hits lefty. Hits for power.
Exactly,
lefty. Come on now. Walker Hurston or Hurston Walker, something like that. I don't know. They got another pitcher. He pitched game 3 or the closeout game against South Carolina. Either way, they have the staff. They have the hitting. I will go ahead and take Florida over Virginia. First of all, you talk about prestige. Yes, Virginia's been there in the past, but over the last 5 years, Florida's been a better program. I'll take Florida over Virginia.
Sure. I took Florida the past round. You have to know when to move off a team. I'm moving off of them here. Off of them here. I think the road ends for Florida.
That's fair. Okay, Wake Forest at Stanford.
Now, this is the only one we agree on.
I guess not at Stanford versus Stanford. This is the only one we agree on. We'll go ahead and take Wake Forest. So this is now bracket number 2. This is June 17th. This is the 2 p.m. game, which, by the way, if you do go, make sure you wear sunscreen. I got burned in a V on my chest. Don't do that. It was cooking. So I'll go ahead and take Wake Forest. I think they're a better baseball team.
Yeah.
Stanford needed a fluky fly ball to get caught in the lights to move on. No, look, Stanford's a good team. Braden Montgomery, the sophomore outfielder, is a stud. But Wake Forest is a better baseball team. I'll take Wake Forest.
Yeah, I'm going Wake Forest as well. I think this is also just one of those moments where Stanford kind of shrinks a little bit. They had a good season, but at the end of the day, they are not a powerhouse team like Wake is. Wake has a lot of guys that you're going to be watching play in the MLB next year, and I think this is just a team full of dudes, and to beat Alabama, first of all, is a feat in itself, especially this past year. They've been building that program like no other. So I think Wake Forest over Stanford here makes a lot of sense, and watch for them to win it all.
I think it's fair. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong.
We agree right there.
Yeah, I know, but okay, we'll move on. LSU, Tennessee.
LSU. I watched what they did to
Kentucky.
They dismembered Kentucky. I thought that was going to be a closer series. I couldn't have been more wrong there.
Okay, yeah, so you talked about knowing when to move off teams. I think Tennessee, the momentum that they built against Southern Miss is insane. First of all, they're slugging like no other team. They're leading the playoffs right now in slugging percentage. They're nuts. Did you see they're the one guy, oh my God. The name's going to blank on me. Lefty hitter, Tennessee, 479-foot home run.
I did see that. I saw that.
I'm taking Tennessee.
tank
First
it.
of all, this also, I'm riding with Tony Vitello. Their coach is. Let me find a comparison to like football, because a lot of our audience likes football. Like
Sure.
someone that you would just run through a brick wall for, like a Mike Vrabel.
Okay.
But he's a little bit more. He's got a little more flair than Mike Vrabel. If that makes sense.
Right. Like a little more Kyle Shanahan flair.
Maybe Nick Saban.
Ooh, Saban, a college comparison. Okay.
A little college compare. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
How Nick Saban, like, he's got that flair. Like he'll light a fire under your ass.
Sure, yeah.
But he's also like kind of quiet genius. But when he needs to
Hey.
be, he's that guy.
I understand where you're coming from, but if you are going to bank on the power game there in Tennessee and those big flashy home runs, I mean, you might as well just go chalk yourself up as a Yankee fan. How's that been turning out for him, right?
Okay, I mean that's
Right?
fair.
I mean,
That's fair.
LSU plays
So,
really good
now,
baseball.
Now I am nervous, right? Paul Skeens probably is in the argument to go number one overall, but then again, the other guy in the argument is Dylan Cruz. So they both play for LSU. They have two. They probably have the two best players in college baseball. I'll give you that. Tommy White's probably a top 10 player as well.
What'd you say last week? What'd you say last week about college baseball? Talent wins.
Talent does win.
Talent
I'm
wins.
rolling with my heart here.
Okay, wow.
I'm going with my heart. Tennessee.
Going out on a limb.
They're in my heart. All right.
Knoxville,
I have
huh?
been so. Here's let me like little story. We got a couple minutes
Yeah.
from about freshman year in college. So about 4 years ago,
Okay.
I said like Tennessee baseball. Like I like watched maybe 2 of their games the entire season. I said like they're kind of scrappy. Like I kind of like what they're about as a program. And I was like, also I saw the smoky gray unis.
Yeah.
Utterly fantastic. So I said, you know what?
Chef's kiss.
Let's follow them on Instagram. Let's start following Tennessee baseball. So they were the first college team outside of like the ones where our friends went, like Vandy, Penn State, Kent
Right.
State, right, where we
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
people that go there. I followed them more closely, but Tennessee was that program that I didn't really know anybody that went there.
Right.
But I'm like, that's gonna be my team. That's my team I'm following,
Yeah.
and I've been following them since. And they have made really nice playoff runs the last 2 years. Finally, this year they break through to the College World Series.
Fair enough.
Tennessee's got it
The Vols, baby.
with my heart.
I'm going LSU. I'm go Tigers all the way. All
right.
the way.
Fair enough. So if you had to pick one team right now to win it all, who do you picking?
Wake.
Picking Wake?
Wake. I think they have that watching that team play. It is watching art in motion. Like you're just watching history be made watching Wake Forest play. They play a very sound game of baseball. I think they have that 1 seed for a reason, and I think in this case it's going to carry over.
I'm going Tennessee. I'm going with my dark horse
Wow.
pick. I'm going with my heart. I'm going Tennessee. I'm not veering from it.
No.
Let's transition, though,